Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Davis, for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and we appreciate you convening us today, as well as Ranking Member Smith and to the Admiral, Dr. Sysons. Thank you so much for being with us. Just want to start with a question, Admiral Harris. You noted in your testimony that China's military buildup could soon challenge the U.S. across almost every domain. My question is to you, if there's one development that they've made that concerns you the most, one single, what would that be?
Cyber.
Cyber?
Yeah.
Okay. And shifting, Dr. Sison, your prior reporting states that China's capabilities of threatening the U.S. military command and control systems and the United States domestic telecommunication systems creates vulnerabilities on the scale that the United States has not experienced since the end of the Cold War. And my question for you would be, could you prioritize what the United States should do to harden domestic infrastructure in anticipation for the most sophisticated methods of attack?
Well, I can't give specifics about the mechanisms of doing it. I do know that precisely what you said at the end is the absolute priority, that we need to focus on resilience and hardening all of our command and control and information systems, both operationally for the Department of Defense, but also domestically here at home for our national critical infrastructure. And I think that's a place where that sort of gets a little bit less attention than the military domain. But we need to be attentive to the fact that the CCP could, in any contingency, choose to try to access another of our sources of national power, which is the hearts and minds of the American people, and impose some hardship here that we haven't had to experience for a very long time. And so the point is that we need to work on creating that resilience and hardening the infrastructure, as you say, militarily, but also here domestically in our critical infrastructure as well.
Okay, super. And the last thing I have here is we've covered a lot of ground today, and this is, it's my first hearing, and really appreciate being a part of this hearing and look forward to future hearings. How would you summarize and prioritize, I mean, we've talked a lot today, how the United States should engage in strategic competition with the Chinese Communist Party while simultaneously reducing the risk of miscalculation and escalation that could lead to conflict?
So we all hope for competition and not war. But we have to be, based on my background, we have to be ready to do the latter, even as we exercise the former. I've characterized the PRC as an adversary already. They view us as the enemy. They view us as an adversary. And to be naive, to operate in the naive hope that that we're all going to be friends in the end is dangerous. That is the most dangerous thing, and that itself leads to instability. So if we go in with eyes wide open, and we're willing to engage diplomatically, and they are willing to engage diplomatically, then I think we can coexist in a world of strategic competition that doesn't rise to the level of armed conflict.
The Admiral makes some very good points. We do need to be ready militarily, and yet this is a strategic level competition. And the best thing we can do is to remember that this is not a military competition. The military is part of it, but it's a strategic competition with a military element. And what that means is that we get to focus on reinforcing and extending the strengths and advantages that we have long had as this country. We are not building creativity and productivity and a vibrant economy and appealing universities from whole cloth. We already have those things. And we should not lose sight of that. We should have confidence in them. We should look to reinforce them wherever and however we can, and we should retain that air of calm and confidence as we engage in the complicated nature of the U.S.-China relationship.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yield back.
Thank the gentleman. Chair would like